What up, everyone? Today we're going back to my roots. We're talking about the equipment I used to use to catch shoplifters back in the day at Shopco as a loss prevention manager. We're talking about wired camera systems, NVRs, DVRs, and some cloud options too. Now, I used this back in the day, but guess what? This technology is still very relevant and actually the most reliable way to go. Check the links in the description below for a couple videos we did. We did IP versus HD-TVI when it comes to these systems. We did wireless versus wired in general, so Wi-Fi cameras versus these NVR, DVR systems. And I also did an ultimate buyer's guide where I talk about basically everything you can buy security camera-wise. But check those links in the description below for those. But in each of those, I kind of breezed by ALIBI Security. And since then, we've got a lot of calls, people asking about ALIBI and those wired systems because they're my go-to since 2008. And I've talked about how reliable they are. So today, we're specifically talking about ALIBI. We're talking about the company, we're talking about why they're my go-to, the different options that they have, but that's what we're going to talk about. So let's get started. What up, everyone? It's George Langabeer with SilverHammer Surveillance. Here on the channel, we talk tech, we talk the smart home, we talk security. We very much appreciate having you here. We release videos every Tuesday. Keep liking our videos, subscribe to the channel, come back for more. But today we're talking about security, specifically wired security camera systems, NVRs, DVRs, and some cloud options. And we're actually specifically talking about ALIBI security. We've released several videos on the channel, and people started calling from nationwide and worldwide, which has been cool. We've taken SilverHammer from this little local company to worldwide, and everybody's been asking me about wired camera systems and ALIBI. I keep breezing by ALIBI. Well, today specifically, we're talking about them, their history, the options, why I like them, why I keep coming back to them. I've been stalked by companies all around the world trying to get me to sell their stuff, try their stuff. And I've tried it here and there, but I always go back to ALIBI Security. ALIBI Security dates back to 1989. At that time, they were called Super Circuits. And George, 2008, working at Shopco as a loss prevention manager, catching crooks, sit in my office and I start to think to myself, you know, I learned how to install all these cameras and service all these cameras. Maybe I should start my own business and help other people catch crooks. And so I started to think maybe somebody out there has a dealer program. And I started to think of Super Circuits, now ALIBI, because we bought some hidden surveillance from them to catch employees when they were stealing. Then we also bought some regular surveillance for them for the shoplifters we tried to catch. I started to think we deal with this company all the time. Maybe they have a dealer program. And I called them and the rest is history. And they've been with me ever since. And I've had all these companies stalk me, trying to get me to sway to their stuff and try their stuff. And once in a while, I'll try it because, you know, you got to be open to new things, especially in the technology world. But I always go back to ALIBI. They are always my go-to, and they always will be. Let's talk about why. Not only do they have great products, but they also have great warranties. They have lifetime tech support, not only for their dealers, but if you bought from a dealer, they'll provide you tech support. Here in the United States, they're in Austin, Texas, so it's US based, but even if you're worldwide, great tech support team there, and they're right there in their little operation in Austin, Texas, and I love that. So I've got to know them over the years. I think one of their quotes was, they're big enough to be a big deal, but they're small enough to care. And I really like that. And so they've kind of got that Texas attitude where they just become your friends, and you know you can trust them. And I love that about them. And like I said, I've had all these other companies, but I've always felt like they're just kind of trying to sell me something. And ALIBI has just been there for me. And really big part of the reason SilverHammer succeeded. And so I very much appreciate that. So that's kind of a little bit of history. Started in 1989, Austin, Texas, great company. All right, so let's talk about what they offer. ALIBI offers a wide variety of security options. We got camera systems, we got cloud-based systems, we've got hidden surveillance. They work with law enforcement, they work with the government. But let's talk about security camera systems. That's my bread and butter. So you see behind me, we've got some DVRs and NVRs, and again, go back and check out our videos. But we've got what's called HD-TVI, and we've got IP. HD-TVI was developed for all the places in the world and all the businesses and homes that basically had old analog cameras, and they ran coax cable to do that. So, you know, in the world of security cameras, there needed to be an option to replace those old analog cameras without having to rerun all that coax. HD-TVI is DVR based, or you can call it a hybrid because a lot of times it'll also take IP cameras. But basically, the DVR will take those old analog connections and turn it into HD cameras. HD-TVI kind of speaks for itself, the HD part. So you can go all the way up to 4K, just like you can with IP, but you can use that old coax and make it new again. Okay, and then on the other side of things, we have IP, which is an NVR, network video recorder, whereas DVR is digital video recorder. This runs with Cat5 cable, and it's been around for a long time too, but it still seems to be the more future-proof option. It still seems to be the one that gets the most attention. And talking with Alibi, I think Hdtvi is just not getting as much attention anymore, especially with everything going on in the world, chip shortages and that kind of thing. It's harder to get, these supplies for these systems. And so it seems to be we're going to concentrate on IP systems from here going forward because it is more future-proof. And with the analytics being superior with IP compared to Hdtvi, I just think it's the way to go. I know I've said Hdtvi in the past and some of those other videos, but I'm just an old school guy, and that's just what I was used to. But Alibi's ingrained it in my brain. We need to go IP, and I do agree with them now because of everything going on in the world, and the analytics are very important because we do have to compete with the wireless cameras. You got Nest with facial recognition. You've got HomeKit Secure Video with facial recognition. We need to get more analytics, and one of my big things about security camera systems is to be proactive. You want alerts when somebody's trying to break into your house. You want them out in the yard. Go back and watch my video on security systems. I don't like that because they're reactive. Burglar alarms, that is. I like security cameras because they're proactive. You're catching somebody before they get to your yard, and that's where the analytics come in. So with IP, you've got vehicle recognition, you've got person recognition. And so as soon as a vehicle or a person's in your yard, you're going to get an alert. And so with IP, you're getting that proactive solution because you're getting those alerts before somebody reaches you. So Alibi's got both those options. They sell a wide variety of cameras. So let's talk about the options. And this kind of covers both lines, IP and Hdtvi. We got what's called Illuminite. That's color night vision, a very superior night vision. You've heard me talk about drug dealer cameras before. Those are the Costco cameras and the local retailer cameras. Well, they've got horrible night vision. I call it a spotlight effect where you just see the middle of the image and the rest of it's just all shadowed out. Well, these have got true, beautiful night vision with that Illuminite, makes it color, rivals any smart home camera out there and much better. You've got advanced chipsets, you've got crystal clear images. Wired camera systems are the most reliable because you don't have to rely on the internet. You can just hook up a monitor and see them, but you can hook them up to the internet and then see them remotely. But they're the most reliable, the most durable. These cameras are the most weatherproof, the most vandal-proof. But you've got very durable housings with these Alibi cameras. You can see here with these examples how accurate it is, how it just narrows down to that vehicle, how it narrows down to that person, how crisp and clear it is. That's where I cannot tell you enough how these are superior to like Nest or Apple HomeKit Secure Video. The images are just so crystal clear. When you get 4K on these, it's truly 4K. Like it's the kind of video where the police will say, oh my God, that's the greatest footage I've ever seen. Okay, so in addition to those benefits, let's talk about storage options. We've got built-in hard drives on your DVR or NVR. So it's physically on site, you own it, no monthly cloud fees. But the problem with that is, let's say your DVR is stolen, or there's just homeowners and business owners that just like to have that cloud backup. Well, Alibi offers that too. Not only do they offer just straight up cloud cameras that you can just have a cloud storage, but they also offer options for your NVRs and DVRs if you're one of our past customers, or you're somebody out there that has a DVR and NVR from the past. They can add cloud storage to those existing systems. So that's great. In addition to that, with the cloud services, they can also do health monitoring. So me as a dealer, if you want to give me access and you don't mind me just checking very basic operations of your DVR and NVR, I can actually make sure that your system is running remotely. And that's great. And we don't have to do that, but it's an option if you want it. And that's all thanks to Alibi. Yeah, so wired camera systems are just the most reliable. And, they're very vandal-proof. Go back, watch Alibi's video on somebody taking a baseball bat to one of their cameras. It's an old video, but one of my favorite videos. Okay, so in addition to all that, like I said, just in general, wired camera systems are the most reliable way to go as far as security camera options. Compared to wireless, it's just superior, almost in every way. With that being said, there are a couple wish list items that I have specifically for Alibi Security. Number 1, smart home integration. This is kind of one of the faults. We don't integrate with Apple, we don't integrate with Google, we don't integrate with Amazon. Now, there are some of you that don't care about that, and that's great. And it doesn't mean that you can't use this in conjunction with that, but it's just not actually going to be in the HomeKit app or the Google Home app or the ALIXA app. It's just not going to happen, at least not yet. Alibi, come on, help me out. To go along with that, video doorbells. Come on, Alibi, give me a good video doorbell. Sadly, they don't have one. Doesn't mean that we can't use a Nest video doorbell or a HomeKit secure video doorbell in conjunction with Alibi, but video doorbells are so popular. Now, in the business realm, I don't even bat an eye. Alibi all the way, because you're not worried about things like video doorbells, smart home integration. But on the residential side, these are some of my wish list with Alibi. And to go along with that, let's talk about facial recognition. Now, if you get an IP system with Alibi, they've got great person recognition. But with Nest and Apple, Nest actually has facial recognition. Send you pictures of people, you can name them. Apple will actually know the name of a person if you've named them in your Apple Photos. Alibi doesn't do that, or at least these systems don't. And so I kind of wish that was a thing. But person recognition is really all you need, because it's really just about knowing a person's in your yard. But I do wish that you could actually dial it down a little bit more. But these are small concerns in the grand scheme of things, because the reliability and all the other benefits far outweigh any of those negatives. Okay, so we've just been getting so many calls on Alibi from the previous videos. I just kind of want to talk about them and why I like them so much. Great people in Austin, Texas. Been with me since the beginning. Huge part of my success. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate them. But I just keep going back to them. Even if it wasn't for how great the people are, the products. And this is a very important thing. Less than a 1% fail rate. Now, there are companies like ours that have these big service crews, and they actually want your stuff to fail because they got to feed those people's family. They want their service crew going out every day. We are still saying it's a relatively small operation. I want to sell. I want to help you, but I don't want to have to service your stuff. Alibi is a less than 1% fail rate. And so, yeah, they've got great warranties. They've got great tech support, but we don't have to use them very often, and I love that. As a small business guy that stakes their reputation on this stuff, I love the fact that I can just rely on them. I don't have to turn stuff in for a warranty. And so that's great. That's actually one of the biggest benefits of all. So they've got really reliable stuff. All right, so you take all those things combined, that's why Alibi is my go-to. So, just so you know, my YouTube videos are not about selling products. Alibi did not sponsor this video, but because of the nature of these videos, people have called me a lot asking about Alibi. So I want to put this out there. We can sell it to you no matter where you are in the country. Worldwide, it depends on where you're at. But definitely United States, we can ship Alibi to you. I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable installing it. Normally, if you bought from us locally, I'm here to have your back. And I'm still here to have your back, but I just can't do it as easily from 1,000 miles away. So as long as I feel capable in your skills, we can ship Alibi to you anywhere in the United States, and we'd be happy to sell it to you and support you in any way I can. And Alibi does offer free tech support for life for those products. So just know that we can help you out. If you're interested in Alibi, give us a call, look in the description below, and figure out how to contact us. But that's it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video about Alibi. We love them. They've been with me from the beginning, and I appreciate them very much. So like this video, subscribe to our channel. Again, we very much appreciate your support. Until the next one, peace and love.